Hello students, welcome to today's session on common size statement. So students, prior to this, for the purpose of analysis and interpretation of financial statement, we have done another topic, that is comparative statement. Today we are doing the common size statement. Okay, so let us start understanding how this is to be done. And for this, yes, we can take a question again. So students, as you can see, we have the question here right in front of us. And this says that convert the following income statement into common size statement and interpret the change in 2011 in the light of conditions in 2010. Okay. So now let us make the common size statement and then find the interpretation or make the interpretation rather. So, okay. All right. So students, we have this, and as you can see in this case, we have to find out the percentages using, now this is the vertical analysis. Okay, so we have to find out the percentage for each value with respect to the common value, that is, so here in this case, the common value pertains to, okay, so here in this case, the common value pertains to, that is the gross sales. Since it is the income statement, so the common value with respect to which we are going to find the percentages is the sales, that is my net sales. Okay, so let us start making it. Okay, so here we have net sales is this. So this becomes my 100% value. We have gross sales first. For 2010, this is 30,600. Okay. Okay, let me write it together. Minus return. And so my so returns are here. That is 600. And in this case, this is 36,720 minus returns are 700. Thus, we get net sales. Now, net sales in this case is 30,000. We take this as 100% value. Okay. Then here in this case, net sales is 36,020. All right. So this likewise, this 36,020 is also taken as the net sales. That is 100%. Now we have to find all other percentages with respect to this 100%. So that is fine. So that is 30,000, 30, this the value upon this value divided by 100. So that 30,600 divided by 30,000 into 100. Okay. And therefore, this percentage comes to how much? Yeah. This percentage becomes 102%. Okay. So we write it as 102, right? And similarly, this is 36,720 divided by 36,020. This becomes 101.94%. Now, similarly, we'll find the percentage of this return also. That is 600 divided by 30,000. So this becomes 2%. And here also, this is 700 divided by 36,020. And this becomes 1.94%. Now let us proceed. Then we need to subtract the cost of goods sold. Okay. So now cost of goods sold, that is, yeah. And once we subtract this cost of goods sold, what do we find? We find the gross profit. So again, let us write this value here. Okay. So minus cost of goods sold, and this is going to give us gross profit. All right. Let us write the figures first and then we find the percentages. So here this is 18,200 gross profit. Gross profit arrived as 11,800. Likewise, here in this case, cost of goods sold is 20,250 and the gross profit arrived as 15,770. Now again we have to do the same thing. We have to find the percentage of COGS with respect to net sales. Again, similarly, we have to find the percentage of gross profit with respect to net sales. So let's do the small calculation here. When we do the calculation for 2010, this percentage comes as 39.33%. Okay. And for 2011, this percentage comes to, that is, sorry, cost for cost of goods sold, this percentage is 39,200, 39.933 is the percentage here, and over here the percentage will be slightly different. That is, this comes to 60.67. Similarly, for 2011 now. For 2011, the COGS is 56.22% of the net sales. And thus, we have this gross profit here. Gross profit, therefore, becomes the, how much percentage this becomes? This becomes 43.78%. All right. Now, moving further from here, now what we need to deduct the operating expenses from this. Minus operating expenses. Now, what all operating expenses we have here? administrative expense and sales expense. Okay, let us write it. We have administrative expenses and we have sales expenses. Let us write the numbers here. Administrative expenses, we have for this previous year 3,000 and sales expenses are 6,000. Likewise, for the current year, administrative expenses are 3,400, whereas sales expenses are 6,600. Now let us find its percentage again with respect to net sales. So for against net sales, if we find out the percentage, for 2010, this is 10% and 20%. So this is 10 and this is 20. Now coming here, okay, for the current year, when we find the percentages, we find this is administrative expenses are 9.43%. Okay. And then the sales expenses are 18.32%. Okay. We will be putting brackets because with these numbers have to be deducted from the gross profit. So therefore, they need to be put in the bracket. In accounting, whatever is to be subtracted has to be put in within the brackets. Now, so the total expenses now. This is 9,000, that is added together 3,000 and 6,000, and this becomes 10,000. Percentage wise, again we will find the percentage of total expenses also here, right? That is 9,000 is 30% and 10,000 is 27.75%. All right. Okay. Once done, now we are done this. So gross profit, total expenses, we have done so far. Then now deducting this money, okay, from my gross profit, I get income from operations. Okay. So the numbers are already written here. This is 2,800 and this is 5,770. Plus, as the question says, add non-operating expenses also. Sorry, non-operating income, not expenses, non-operating income. So non-operating income is 300 here and it is 400. Okay. Then this becomes, so now we have total income, which is 3,100 and 6,170. I'll find out the percentages after I have posted all the numbers here. Then from this now we deduct the non-operating expenses. Okay. And we arrive at the figure 2,700 here. Sorry, non-operating expenses are 400 and 600, and with this we have arrived to the figure that is net profit. Okay, so the net profit arrived is 2700 here and 5570 here. All right, now let us find the percentages that we had left earlier. Okay, so now income from operations, as I said, all the percentages have to be with respect to the net sales, which is 100%. Okay, so this value. So everything will be found out using this 30,000 in case of 2010 as denominator, 36,020 as denominator in 2011. Okay, so let us find out these percentages here. Okay, so again, income from operations. This is 2,800 divided by 30,000, and this is 9.33%. Then my non-operating income is very less, 300 divided by 30,000, which is just 1%, right? So total income is how much? 3,100 divided by 30,000. This is 10.33% minus non-operating expenses, which is 400 1.33%, and finally we arrive at the net profit here, which is 2,700 divided by 30,000, which is 9%. Okay. Similarly, we come here. Now let us find the percentages here. This is 5770 divided by, now here the denominator will be 36,020. So this comes to 16.01. Then we have non-operating income to be 400 here. This comes to 1.11. As you can see, the difference, the non-operating income is not increased much. Very slight difference, right? Then we have total income. Total income in current year is 6170 divided by 36,020. This is 17.13. So from here, what do we find? See, the total income has increased slightly from 10% to 17%. So there is an increase of 7%. Okay. Now, the non-operating expense, which is 600 in this case, which is 1.66%, and finally the net profit, which is 5770 divided by this is 16%. So, right? So this is how we have analyzed the table. Now, basis this analysis, we can now very safely or very clearly make the interpretation. Right? So what interpretation comes to our mind? The interpretation says that, see, the company has reduced its cost and expenses, which has resulted in increase in the income from operation and the net profit. Okay. So I'll write this interpretation also here. Okay. So this completes this question and the topic. That's all for today's session, students. I hope you all understood the topic. Keep practicing. I'll see you the next time. If you have any doubts, please contact me through my Urban Pro profile. Thank you.